The proliferation of internet radio really helps independent artists because if you're not happy with what the conglomerates are playing out there on your local station, you can go and find it, and there are great stations out there.
KEXP with the Music Matters, 90.3, 91.7, KEXP.org. English Beats, Save It for Later, came out in 1983. The Arcade Fire, we thought of a good Power Out song for our friends listening in Villa Park, Illinois. Their power went out. They were listening on their laptop still. And Funerals, where you can find the neighborhood number 3, Power's Out. Brian Eno, Needles in the Camel's Eye starting off the set, and since the power did come back on as the song was on, they said, you got to play that Go Team now. So here you go. The power's on, KEXP.
It's not really complicated. There's no tough formula. It's really simple. It's to get people who care about music, let them present the music, and folks respond to that. It's also not a radical notion at all, because this is the way radio used to be, right? Back in the 70s, where the DJ, God forbid, had a role in shaping the sounds that you were hearing.
To be a radio station like KEXP is difficult if you weren't already a radio station. There's plenty of internet startups, but there's also all kinds of ASCAP fees, and there's all kinds. I mean, even the music itself you have to pay for, so it's hard for them to start up. It's the perfect storm for us. We have the technology of the University of Washington. We had seed money from Experience Music Project, which allowed us into these studios and gave us a running start into becoming self-sufficient. And we have the most passionate, loyal audience on earth.
If you take a bird's eye view, you have to become less concerned about the geographic boundaries. This is less about markets, and it's really more about a community of shared interests. This is like a tribe.
Our audience is a music-loving audience. So with music lovers come music fans who aren't going to love everything we play.
We select music from scratch. We scour the earth, and that takes a lot of time. You've got to be willing to spend that time to find that jewel, find that music with merit.
It might be hard to listen to a station like ours. You've been programmed differently all your life. It's hard to suddenly stop and think about what you're listening to. Some people don't want to think about it.
Come on, say wait a minute, Queen, what's your name? I be that gift that flip the life game from the right brain. Hold on. Ascension maintain, hold on, rolling through like a burning flame, come on, like a supernova star. She be the light when they in the dark morning. The moon past the sun before constellations start forming. Hold on, a cross up in the sky, hold up, but motherfuckers wanna ask me why, come on. What good do your words do if they can't understand? Yeah,
Music is bigger than religion, it's bigger than politics, it's bigger than pretty much everything. My whole, mission for Control Freak is to start to move or help to usher the planet into a more positive and beautiful place to be.
Now artists understand that they actually run a business and they're building a brand. That business is their career, the brand is themselves or their band.
I come from a world of hustlers. So I grew up watching everybody on their hustle, and I don't knock the hustle. So what we have to do is figure out how do we merge together to form our own companies so that we are the record label and not the artist. I'm not anti large label. I'm not, because this is the reason why I have a house and a car and my mom and them doing good. I just think what shouldn't be done is that you leave all of the business up to someone that you hire. You should be a part of it because you are your business.
When the idea of ATO Records started, we realized at that point we had built an infrastructure up where we were performing a lot of the duties of a record label on our own. We were already doing them for Dave Matthews Band or other artists that we managed.
The philosophy was to build a business from its content and not for the sake of money. We'll have an office, and then, well, what the hell are you doing? Then you have to find something. And that was David Gray, because right around that time he was dropped.
We all loved David Gray. We all loved all three of his records. And lo and behold, I got a call one day.
Some group of scaredy cats dropped him because they didn't know what to do.
It was pure coincidence, and that day I talked to his manager, and a few weeks later Michael and I were over in Ireland seeing David, and we got a deal done quickly.
And he'd already made a record. It was we had that White Ladder. It was like, wow, please let us be your, please let us represent you, please. So I was begging him, and eventually after we argued for a while, he said yes, and then it exploded.
The real essence of ATO, I think, was simply that, to get behind music that we felt extremely moved by and that we felt deserved to be heard more.
We all have the confidence that we'll succeed. And I think it's because our goals are realistic and our expectations are realistic, and we're not trying to employ 180 people, we're employing 11, and we're not signing 37 acts, we sign 9. And we know that it takes 6 months before you even hear the artist's name, and another 6 months before you actually go buy it.
I definitely get caught up in like a control freak sort of mentality about the music and the band. Like, I want it to be ours and I want to do everything, but I reached a point where I realized that we need other people to help us, do what they do, so we don't have to do everything, and they're great.
Kind of lucked out, with RCA and ATO, because I feel like, who knows how long it'll last, but I feel like we've been given a chance to make records, and they let us make the records that we wanted to make, and didn't say anything, and are willing to let it succeed or fail on our own terms, which is pretty cool and almost never happens anymore.
I was given this opportunity to, get out of the record business and into the music business, and that's what ATO Records is for me. It's the music business, and from where I sit, coming from a major label to ATO, the music business is extremely healthy.
I got my foot in the door in 1971 when I made my first album, and part of the reason I got my foot in the door is because I play guitar pretty good for a girl. That was the thing that made me different. It wasn't like I was gorgeous or wanted to have a hit single. The times were different. You could be a modest selling artist without aspirations to be a star and still get a record deal. And things have changed to where you could do that again. You just have to figure out what you really want. If you want to be Britney Spears, then you better get a manager and work on your dance steps and get some, body adjustments so that you can dance that dance, But what I tell people that are more in my line of work, blues artists or folk artists or, people that are hybrids like I am, is to just pick a career that you think is going in a direction that you see yourself having some affinity for, some similarity, and take a look at the record label, take a look at their management, take a look at whether they own their own publishing, get their legal representative to, approach those people, see if they'll handle you. If they say, no, we already have a Shelby Lynn, we don't need another one, but at least you got a model and see how they did it,
I think it's very important for new bands to socially, they have to understand that it's important for them to have a camaraderie besides just business. Most bands just get together when it's time to discuss, well, we need a band meeting. I don't like the way you're playing your bass. Or, discussing business things like splits and points and those type of things. And when's rehearsal? And why were you late? And you have a problem. That type of thing. I say if you want to stay together, Sunday. Every band out there, Sunday is band day. That's the day that you're going to choose nothing. Whoever's the best cook in your band, that person's going to make breakfast. You guys go over there, you have breakfast. That is the ritual that has kept my group together for 16 years. And Lord knows, if there are 7 people in this world who should be bickering at each other, it should be us. But at the end of the day, we're still here. We're still here. So that is direct. I could say, follow your dreams and hang in there. No, I'm giving you direct instructions. Sunday is going to be bowling night.